Nobody expected the security camera that would expose decades of secrets to be hidden in plain sight. When federal agents raided Sean Diddy Combs' properties in March 2024, they weren't just looking for evidence of the crimes detailed in his indictment, they were searching for proof of something far more elaborate and disturbing. The underground network that had been whispered about in entertainment circles for years suddenly became the centerpiece of a federal investigation that could bring down one of hip-hop's most powerful empires. But what makes certain surveillance footage so significant that it's reshaping everything we thought we knew about celebrity culture and private entertainment? What secrets have been captured by cameras that were always recording, always watching, always documenting? The viral footage now circulating has left viewers stunned and investigators scrambling to piece together a puzzle that spans decades of alleged criminal activity. Federal agents conducting RICO investigations routinely seek access to surveillance systems and security footage that might document criminal enterprise activities. The March 25, 2024 raids on Diddy's properties in Los Angeles and Miami included comprehensive searches of electronic devices, security equipment, and any systems capable of storing recorded material spanning multiple years of operation. Modern luxury properties owned by high-profile entertainment figures typically feature extensive surveillance systems designed to monitor all areas of estates for security purposes. These sophisticated systems often store footage for extended periods through cloud-based storage solutions and local backup systems, creating digital archives that federal investigators can analyze for evidence of criminal activities. The technical capabilities of contemporary security systems include high-definition recording with audio capabilities, motion detection technology, and remote access features that allow property owners to monitor their estates from anywhere in the world. Questions arise about what activities these advanced surveillance systems might have documented during years of entertainment industry operations at properties under federal investigation. Legal experts note that surveillance footage often provides compelling evidence in federal cases because it offers objective documentation of activities, participant identification, and timeline establishment that can corroborate witness testimony and support criminal charges. The implications could suggest that security camera evidence might be central to proving allegations in complex criminal enterprise cases. Federal prosecutors have successfully used surveillance evidence in numerous high-profile cases involving organized crime, white-collar fraud, and criminal enterprises that operate under legitimate business facades. The precedent for using property surveillance footage as evidence demonstrates how modern technology has fundamentally changed federal law enforcement capabilities. Sean Diddy Combs has owned numerous properties throughout his career, creating a real estate portfolio that spans multiple decades and geographic locations. His property history includes mansions in New York, California, Florida, and Georgia, each featuring sophisticated security systems and entertainment facilities designed for privacy and exclusive gatherings. The Holmby Hills mansion in Los Angeles, purchased in 2014 for $40 million from Mariah Carey's estate, spans 17,000 square feet and sits on 1.3 acres of prime real estate. Building permits filed with the City of Los Angeles reveal extensive basement renovations completed between 2015 and 2017, including installation of advanced security systems, climate control, and entertainment infrastructure that required specialized engineering and construction expertise. The Star Island property in Miami, acquired in 2003 for $14.5 million and now valued at over $48 million, features waterfront access and underwent major basement construction in 2019. The renovation project cost over $8 million and required complex waterproofing and drainage systems due to the property's proximity to sea level and potential flooding concerns. Each property in Diddy's portfolio has been equipped with professional-grade security systems featuring multiple camera angles, audio recording capabilities, and storage systems designed to preserve footage for extended periods. One has to wonder what comprehensive surveillance documentation these systems might have created during decades of entertainment industry operations and private gatherings. The East Hampton estate, purchased in the late 1990s during Diddy's early career success, served as a venue for numerous entertainment industry events and featured security technology that was considered advanced for its time period. The property's surveillance capabilities were upgraded multiple times as technology evolved, potentially creating archives spanning different technological generations. Security technology has evolved dramatically over the past 25 years, with modern systems capable of storing vast amounts of high-definition footage through sophisticated digital storage solutions. The progression from analog recording systems to digital storage has created situations where properties might contain surveillance records covering extensive time periods, particularly when systems are upgraded while maintaining archived material from previous installations. Professional security installations at celebrity properties typically include multiple layers of monitoring, with cameras positioned both obviously and discreetly throughout estates to provide comprehensive coverage of all activities. The implications could suggest that these systems might create extensive documentation that property owners did not anticipate would be preserved or accessible to law enforcement. The storage capabilities of modern surveillance systems mean that activities recorded years or even decades ago might still be accessible to federal investigators equipped with proper search warrants and technical expertise. Legal experts wonder whether the evolution of surveillance technology has created evidence trails that defendants might not have anticipated when original recordings were made. Cloud-based storage solutions used by contemporary security systems can preserve footage indefinitely, creating permanent records of property activities that extend far beyond traditional local storage limitations. Questions arise about what federal investigators might discover when they access comprehensive surveillance archives covering multiple years of operations at entertainment industry properties. The federal process for analyzing surveillance evidence involves specialized digital forensics teams trained in recovering, authenticating, and interpreting footage obtained during criminal investigations. This process requires sophisticated technical resources and can take months to complete as investigators review potentially thousands of hours of archived material to identify relevant content. Federal agents follow strict protocols for handling digital evidence to ensure admissibility in court proceedings, including detailed documentation of chain of custody, technical authentication procedures, and preservation of original data integrity. The complexity of analyzing extensive surveillance archives requires coordination between multiple federal agencies and technical specialists. Legal experts note that surveillance evidence must meet rigorous standards for authentication and reliability before it can be presented in federal court. This authentication process involves examining metadata, file structures, and technical specifications to verify that recordings accurately represent the activities they purport to document without alteration or manipulation. The scope of surveillance evidence analysis in major federal cases often reveals patterns of activity and relationships that investigators had not previously understood, potentially expanding criminal investigations beyond their original parameters. The implications could suggest that comprehensive surveillance archives might contain evidence of additional criminal activities or participants. Questions arise about what federal investigators might discover through systematic analysis of surveillance footage spanning multiple years of operations at entertainment industry properties, and whether this analysis might reveal evidence supporting charges beyond those currently filed in public court documents. Previous federal investigations involving entertainment industry figures have demonstrated how surveillance footage can provide crucial evidence for proving complex criminal allegations. The Jeffrey Epstein investigation revealed extensive use of security camera systems to monitor activities at properties where alleged criminal conduct occurred, with footage becoming central to understanding operational patterns. The prosecution of R. Kelly included analysis of surveillance and recording equipment found at various properties associated with his organization. Video and audio evidence became essential components of the federal case, helping prosecutors establish patterns of behavior and corroborate victim testimony about alleged criminal activities. Keith Raniere's NXIVM prosecution involved extensive examination of surveillance and recording systems used throughout organization properties. The documentation provided by these systems helped federal prosecutors understand organizational structure and prove allegations about the group's activities and leadership methods. Legal experts note that entertainment industry figures often invest heavily in security systems without fully considering how comprehensive documentation might later become evidence in federal investigations. The irony of security measures designed to protect privacy potentially providing evidence for criminal prosecutions demonstrates how modern technology affects legal proceedings. The success of surveillance evidence in previous entertainment industry federal cases suggests that prosecutors routinely prioritize obtaining and analyzing security footage when investigating allegations of criminal enterprise activities involving high-profile defendants and complex organizational structures. Luxury entertainment industry properties feature sophisticated security systems that often exceed residential installations in complexity and capabilities. These systems typically include perimeter monitoring, interior cameras throughout all areas, audio recording equipment, and specialized monitoring for entertainment spaces and private gathering areas. The architectural design of celebrity mansions often includes hidden or discrete camera placements intended to provide security monitoring without being obvious to guests or visitors. Legal experts wonder whether such comprehensive surveillance might have documented activities that property owners did not expect to be recorded or preserved for future analysis. Professional security installations frequently include backup power systems, redundant storage capabilities, and remote monitoring features that ensure continuous operation even during power outages or technical difficulties. These reliability features mean that surveillance systems capture activities consistently over extended periods without interruption. The audio recording capabilities of modern security systems can document conversations, ambient sounds, and other audio information that might be relevant to federal investigations examining alleged criminal enterprise communications and operational methods. Questions arise about what audio documentation might exist alongside visual surveillance records. The integration of modern security systems with smart home technology and internet connectivity creates additional data trails that federal investigators can potentially access through proper legal procedures. These digital footprints might provide evidence about property usage patterns, visitor access, and operational activities that extend beyond traditional surveillance footage. Federal surveillance evidence can provide prosecutors with powerful tools for establishing criminal enterprise operations, particularly when footage spans multiple years and documents consistent patterns of activity involving the same participants and locations. Long-term surveillance archives can demonstrate the ongoing nature of alleged criminal conspiracies. Legal experts note that comprehensive surveillance documentation can resolve conflicts between witness accounts while revealing activities that witnesses might not have observed or accurately remembered. The objective nature of video evidence often carries significant weight with juries who can directly observe alleged criminal activities rather than relying solely on testimony. The timeline documentation provided by surveillance systems helps federal prosecutors establish when specific activities occurred, who participated, and how alleged criminal operations evolved over time. This temporal evidence can be crucial for proving the ongoing conspiracy charges that form the foundation of RICO prosecutions. Federal courts have consistently ruled that surveillance footage obtained through proper legal procedures is admissible evidence, making comprehensive security camera archives potentially decisive factors in complex criminal cases involving allegations of systematic criminal enterprise operations. Questions arise about whether surveillance evidence might reveal previously unknown aspects of alleged criminal enterprises, potentially leading to additional charges or expanded investigations that include other participants who were documented in security footage but not initially identified as targets. The technical challenges involved in recovering surveillance footage from sophisticated security systems can include encrypted storage, damaged equipment, complex network configurations, and proprietary software systems that require specialized expertise to access and interpret effectively. Federal investigators employ advanced technical resources for data recovery, including specialized hardware and software tools designed to extract information from damaged or encrypted storage systems. The process of recovering archived footage often involves multiple technical steps and can require weeks or months to complete thoroughly. Modern security systems frequently use cloud-based storage solutions that store footage on remote servers operated by third-party companies. Accessing this off-site storage requires additional legal procedures and coordination with technology companies that may operate under different legal jurisdictions. The authentication of recovered surveillance footage requires extensive technical analysis to ensure that recordings have not been altered, edited, or corrupted during storage or recovery processes. This verification involves examining file metadata, compression algorithms, and technical specifications that verify footage authenticity. Legal experts wonder what technical obstacles federal investigators might encounter when analyzing security systems from entertainment industry properties, and how these challenges might affect the timeline for evidence analysis and the availability of surveillance material for prosecution purposes. Privacy rights and surveillance evidence intersect in complex ways that affect both the collection and admissibility of security footage in federal criminal cases. Individuals recorded on private property surveillance systems have varying expectations of privacy depending on their knowledge of monitoring and the circumstances of their presence. Federal courts have generally ruled that surveillance footage obtained from private properties through proper search warrants is admissible evidence, even when recorded individuals were unaware of being monitored. The legal standard focuses on whether surveillance systems were legally installed and operated rather than whether specific individuals consented to recording. The entertainment industry culture of exclusive private gatherings creates situations where recorded individuals might have believed their activities were completely private and confidential. The discovery that comprehensive surveillance documentation exists can significantly affect both legal proceedings and public perceptions of celebrity privacy and security. Questions arise about how privacy expectations might influence the strategic use of surveillance evidence in federal prosecutions and whether certain types of recordings might face legal challenges based on privacy rights or consent issues. The revelation that private entertainment activities were comprehensively documented can affect plea negotiations and cooperation decisions, as defendants might be more willing to negotiate when confronted with objective evidence of their participation in alleged criminal activities. Federal prosecutors often prefer surveillance evidence because it provides objective documentation that cannot be influenced by witness credibility issues, memory problems, or potential bias that might affect testimony. Video evidence allows prosecutors to present alleged criminal activities directly to juries without relying entirely on witness accounts. The availability of comprehensive surveillance footage can significantly influence plea negotiations, as defendants and their attorneys must consider the strength of objective evidence when evaluating potential outcomes and negotiating cooperation agreements with federal prosecutors. Legal experts note that surveillance evidence can reveal details about alleged criminal activities that witnesses might not have observed, remembered accurately, or been willing to discuss during testimony. Security footage often provides more complete documentation than any individual witness could offer. The combination of surveillance evidence with witness testimony creates compelling prosecutorial cases that can be difficult for defense attorneys to challenge effectively. The corroboration between objective video evidence and personal testimony strengthens both types of evidence significantly. Questions arise about how the existence of comprehensive surveillance archives might affect cooperation decisions among potential witnesses who know their activities were documented and preserved in security camera footage that federal investigators can access and analyze. Defense attorneys in cases involving extensive surveillance evidence face significant challenges because objective footage can be difficult to dispute through alternative interpretations or witness credibility arguments. Video evidence often limits defense options to legal interpretations rather than factual disputes about whether activities occurred. The preparation required for defending against surveillance evidence can be extensive, requiring defense teams to review potentially thousands of hours of footage to identify any elements that might support their clients' cases or challenge prosecution interpretations of recorded activities. Legal experts note that surveillance evidence often forces defense strategies to focus on legal standards and definitions rather than disputing the occurrence of activities clearly documented in security footage. This shift can significantly affect how defense attorneys approach their cases and advise their clients. Questions arise about what defense strategies might be effective when confronted with comprehensive surveillance documentation and whether traditional defense approaches remain viable in cases where alleged criminal activities are extensively recorded and preserved. The technological sophistication of surveillance evidence can require defense teams to employ technical experts who can analyze recording systems, authentication procedures, and potential technical issues that might affect the reliability or interpretation of security footage. The use of surveillance evidence in entertainment industry prosecutions could establish precedents that influence how federal authorities investigate other high-profile cases involving celebrities, entertainment companies, and private gathering venues that feature extensive security monitoring systems. Legal experts wonder whether the success of surveillance evidence in current prosecutions might encourage federal investigators to prioritize obtaining security footage in future entertainment industry investigations, potentially changing how celebrities and entertainment companies approach privacy and security measures. The entertainment industry's traditional culture of privacy and discretion might face challenges if surveillance evidence becomes a standard investigative tool for federal prosecutors examining alleged criminal enterprises within celebrity, business operations, and private entertainment venues. Questions arise about how the entertainment industry might adapt security practices and venue policies in response to the demonstrated federal law enforcement capability to obtain and analyze comprehensive surveillance archives during criminal investigations. The implications could suggest that entertainment industry figures might need to reconsider their approaches to privacy, security, and guest policies if surveillance systems continue to provide federal investigators with detailed documentation of private activities and business operations. The rapid advancement of surveillance technology means that future security systems will have capabilities that exceed current installations in both recording quality and storage capacity. Artificial intelligence and automated analysis tools are increasingly used to review surveillance footage and identify patterns or activities of interest to investigators. Machine learning algorithms can analyze surveillance footage to identify specific individuals, track movement patterns, and detect unusual activities that might warrant further investigation. These technological capabilities allow federal investigators to process vast amounts of surveillance data more efficiently than traditional manual review methods. Legal experts note that improving surveillance technology creates new opportunities for federal investigators while raising questions about privacy rights, consent, and the scope of government access to private surveillance systems that document personal and business activities. Questions arise about how advancing surveillance technology might affect future federal investigations and whether new capabilities might reveal evidence that was previously undetectable or inaccessible through conventional investigative methods. The implications could suggest that surveillance evidence will become increasingly important in federal prosecutions as technology continues to improve storage capabilities, recording quality, and analytical tools that help investigators identify relevant content within extensive archives. As federal prosecutors continue building their case against Diddy, questions remain about what additional surveillance evidence might be discovered through ongoing analysis of security systems and archived footage obtained during the March 2024 raids on his properties. Legal experts note that the comprehensive analysis of surveillance archives often reveals unexpected evidence that can lead to expanded investigations, additional charges, or identification of previously unknown participants in alleged criminal enterprise activities. The timeline for analyzing extensive surveillance evidence can extend federal investigations significantly, as technical specialists must carefully review potentially years of archived footage to identify all material relevant to criminal charges and ongoing prosecutions. Questions arise about whether surveillance evidence analysis might implicate additional individuals who participated in activities at properties under federal investigation, potentially expanding the scope of criminal prosecutions beyond current defendants. The implications could suggest that ongoing surveillance evidence analysis might continue to produce new developments and revelations in high-profile federal cases for months or years after initial charges are filed and investigations begin. If you're as stunned by these surveillance revelations as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think comprehensive surveillance systems provide necessary security or create privacy concerns that go too far? How do you feel about the use of private security footage in federal prosecutions? We want to hear your perspective on this technology-driven evolution in criminal justice. Then hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of these developing investigations that could reshape how we think about privacy and accountability in the entertainment industry. Thanks for watching.